भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नमो
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयत्। नष्टाप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरि ओम तत्सत्। We quickly take this verse from Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna himself, we can understand how exalted Prahlad Maharaj is. To Lord Krishna himself is speaking about Prahlad Maharaj, and he himself is speaking indirectly about Lord Narasimha, his own form. Prahlad, so in the interest of time, we will not repeat. Sorry for that. So we'll just straight away go into the verse. प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कालकलयतामहम् मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम् वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम् प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कालकलयतामहम् मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम् वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम्. Word to word. Prahlada, cha, also, asmi, I am, Daityanam, of the demons, Kala, time, Kalayatam, of subduers, Aham, I am, Mruganam, of animals, cha, and Mruga Indra, the lion, Aham, I am, Vainateya, Garuda, cha, also, Pakshinam, of birds. There is interesting connection to Garuda also, we'll see in Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. Translation by Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. We'll quickly read the purport by Sri Prabhupada. Diti and Aditi are two sisters. The sons of Aditi are called Adityas and the sons of Diti are called Daityas. All the Adityas are devotees of the Lord, and all the Daityas are atheistic. Although Prahlad was born in the family of Daityas, he was a great devotee from his childhood. Because of his devotion, service, and godly nature, he is considered to be a representative of Krishna. There are many subduing principles, but time bears down all things in the material universe, and so represents Krishna. Of the many animals, the lion is the most powerful and ferocious, and of the million varieties of birds, Garuda, the bearer of Lord Vishnu, is the greatest. So, we'll try to. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। So, as we see in the Bhagavad Gita verse, Prahladaschasmi Daityanam. So, Lord Krishna himself is speaking about Prahlad Maharaj. So, where Arjuna is asking the question in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 at the end, if you all remember. So, Lord Krishna is stressing the most important verse in the whole Bhagavad Gita. Two times repeats Manmanavo Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru Mame Vaisu Satyante Pratijane Priyosme. The last two lines changes, but its answer, the meaning is same. Think of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance to me, and so worship me. So in this way, four important things Lord Krishna is stressing to Arjuna. Now, Arjuna is asking, uh, can you tell me now how to follow this? This is the example. Verse is described, but then how to do that? Always think of Lord Krishna, how is it going to be possible? Then Lord Krishna is started describing, and Arjuna is asking this question in the 10th chapter, Opulence of the Absolute. Ketu Ketu Bhavechu. How I will be able to think of you, remember you all the time? What are the ways? Then Lord Krishna started explaining. I told you already in 7th chapter. How come you're asking again? Dasoham apsu kaunteya. I told you already vibhutis. My vibhutis are so many. I cannot tell you, but I will tell you in brief. Then he describes. So there it basically is describing how to remember. Because all these opulences, various opulences, doesn't mean Lord Krishna is the lion. It's all these opulences by looking at the greatest qualities in Prahlad Maharaj, greatest quality of a lion like king. All these qualities we have to immediately remember Lord Krishna, a taste of water. So that is the idea of describing various opulences in the 10th chapter. So now coming to the understand Prahlad Maharaj. So first we have to understand through Guru Parampara, especially Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Narasimha prayers is being given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Jiyad Narsinga, which is in Simhachalam in Andhra Pradesh in India. There is a beautiful temple. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself visited. There's footprints established by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Goswami Prabhupada. So there, when he went, he offered obeisances and he chanted mantra. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhyalela 8.5. Sri Narasimha, Jai Jai Narasimha, Prahladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma, Branga. So that was the first offering. Repeatedly he chanted these words again and again. So where it is all glories to Lord Narasimha, all glories to Lord Narasimha, who enters into the heart of the devotees and takes away all the anarthas. And he is like acts like a chisel and stone. The sculptor take the chisel and takes away and keep on pushing it, chisels away all the unwanted parts. Same way, he will enter into the heart of devotees and removes all the anarthas, 6 anarthas. So, that is a beautiful prayer, and which continues. The second portion of it is not described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but is in Narasimha Tapani Upanishad describes. It is a mantra Raja, and Jiva Goswami explains in Krishna Sandarbha, Bhagavad Sandarbha also, and this is also in Narasimha Puran, where Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukam Narasimham Veshanam Badram Mutyor Mutyur Namamyam. This is called Mantra Raja. So there is a beautiful description in Narasimha Puran, one of the chapter, describing this is the topmost. It gives essence. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given especially to remove the fruitive activity from our hearts, remove obstacles from our heart. That is the main intention or purpose of Lord Narasimha's mantra to be given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And to be further, we will see that in the Antilila, also Chaitanya Charitamrita Antilila, 16th chapter, 52 and 53, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enter into Jagannath Puri temple. Before taking darshan of Lord Jagannath, he is getting on the southern side, about 22 steps. There is Lord Narasimha deity within the Jagannath Puri temple. There he repeatedly offered obeisances and he is chanting this mantra. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Hiranna Kasipur Vakshasila Tankana Kalaya Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha Yato Yam Tato Bahir Narasimha Ardaya Narasimha Adam Saranam Prapadye. So these two verses we see in 52 and 53 in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 16, where before taking darshan of Lord Jagannath, he is describing this. In the earlier one was a description between the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramanand Rai. That was in this chapter. This chapter title is Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tasting the nectar from the sweet lips of Lord Krishna. So that was the chapter title of this Antilila. You can understand how much it is important. This Narasimha prayer. So Prabhupada, when he was sick, he asked his disciples to chant these Narasimha prayers. And then later on, when he went to Japan, he said, I may not live long. I will be going from Japan for this for printing this Gita. I'm going. From there, I will be going to India. So I may or may not come. back. So, but you all have been given all the necessary things in terms of the books and how to execute Krishna consciousness. So, you chant these Narsinga prayers, so all our obstacles can be removed. So, you can continue on executing this mission. So, that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Prabhupada has passed down the Guru Parampara so from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Narsinga mantra. And this is we can see from Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur also has given to Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, initiated in the Narsinga mantra. So main purpose is to remove the obstacles, remove the proclivities, the fruitive activities. We will see in Canto 7 further. So this is the main specific aspect. Why do we need to celebrate Narasimha Chaturdasi? In Madhya Leela, everything is coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given so much that it's for anybody and everybody from all walks of life. They can practice Krishna consciousness by simply chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In Madhya Leela, chapter 23, where the title is Life's Ultimate Goal. There itself, it has been described. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving this, that especially talking about it is not given before. Chirad Dattam Nijagupta Viryam. Chirad Dattam Nijagupta Viryam. It is never given before. As a Swapremna Namamrita Rasam Atura, very quickly he has given his own Prema, Krishna Prema, highest. Till before that, Rama avatar, other avatars, even Krishna, he told, you all surrender to me, then I will give. But even then, it was not so easy for everybody to come to the Krishna Prema, especially the Sakya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, highest rasas was not given before. Even if it was given, if you look at Lord Ramachandra's pastime, Sakya Rasa is there, but that is called Sambrama Sakya. There is a Sakya higher than that, that is Vishramba Sakya, not with awe and reverence. So that's why it is very important. Lord will accept our services when we do with affection, not so much with awe and reverence. He will accept, but that is not the highest. Especially what we have to understand is we shouldn't be doing just as a matter of duty. Yes, in the beginning we may be able to, we may want to do like that as a duty. Even though we don't know, we are just beginners. We like to follow others and we do as a duty. But it has to come to natural. We have to develop affection, just like we do with our family members, our kids, our children, our parents. With it, not out of duty. It should be supposed to be done out of affection. Then Lord Krishna has obligation. He is describing in Srimad Bhagavatam. I have an obligation. One who performs with affection any services, any worship, then I am obligated to appear before him. I am obligated to reciprocate with him. If somebody is done with awe and reverence, somebody has done with out of duty, especially out of duty, then there is no obligation for him to accept. And so most of the times it's very difficult to receive the reciprocation. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given Swapremna Namamrita Atura. So Apamaram, even for the Pamara, lowest of the mankind, like Jagai Madai, most sinful. But even to them also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the highest form of Krishna Prema, highest levels of ecstasy. Visramba Sakya means with a cowherd voice, he can jump on Krishna, Krishna can jump on them. That is called Vishramba Sakya. Like that, even Vatsalya also, the highest Yasodama is able to bind Krishna, take stick and run behind, and Krishna is also ready to become surrender, able to Yasodama is able to bind Krishna. So this special rasas, especially the highest rasas, is not given before. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this. So there in the 23rd chapter, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 24th chapter further, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing Sanatana Goswami, most confidential. Actually, originally when Satyarup Gauranga Prabhu asked, I was thinking to take up that topic, which is very important. Sanatana Siksha. That was the original. So still, I took some points from that Sanatana Siksha, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing. Please describe Dinakritya, Masakritya, Samvatsara Kritya. Explain the Ekadasi, Janmashtami, Ram Navami, Vamana Dvadasi, Narasimha Chaturdasi. Explain the purpose of these festivals, what one's supposed to do, how important it is. So then that's why Sanatana Goswami clearly detailed in great detail about Lord Narasimha's appearance and his Narasimha Chaturdasi, how to perform, what was the Prahlad Maharaj's previous qualification. So, and how to observe. Very detailed is being given Haribhakta Vilas. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is asked Sanatana Goswami to clearly describe it, so that we understand why we are celebrating Narasimha Chaturdasi in Brahma Mahatma Gaudiya Sampradaya. We are very much in the worship of Lord Krishna. But Lord Krishna has no choice but to appear in this form. It is described in Lagu Bhagavatamrita. Lord Narasimha is also there. Out of all incarnations, there are three principles. They are called Para Avastha Avatar. One is Lord Krishna, he is the topmost, he is the everything is coming from him. He is Avatari, he is the source of all incarnations. And then Lord Ramachandra, and then Lord Narasimha. These three are called Paravastha, means full in full. But in exhibition, Lord Krishna exhibits everything in full, but almost close to Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, and Lord Narasimha. This is in Lagu Bhagavatamrita in part 1, verse number, I think, 16 or so. It has been explained about this Paravastha avatars. Now we understand why we are celebrating. Now we understand how this mantra has been passed down. Now we'll understand the context. Why it is Canto 7. Canto 7. The context is so Parikshit Maharaj, after hearing from Canto 6, there are 10 subject matters in Srimad Bhagavatam. What are those? Sukadeva Goswami describing in second canto, chapter 10, verse number 1. Atra sarga visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya. Sthanam poshanam utaya manmantra ishanukada nirodho muktir ashraya. These are 10 subject matters. We'll not go, this itself is separate class, but we will not go into that detail. But the seventh canto where Lord Narasimha's pastime is described, that is falling under Utaya. Utaya means fruitive activity. Utaya means proclivities. Udaya means they also comes into two aspects: auspicious activity, inauspicious activity, Subha and Asubha. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Sridhar Swami explains this. Especially Sridhar Swami is explains our original commentator of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes and Sri Prabhupada quotes also many places. And he is the Narsingha Bhakta. He is Narsingha Bhakta. And Yoga Goswami also gives a very interesting statement. There is an interesting pastime also on Sridhar Swami. His compilation of Srimad Bhagavatam is extraordinary. It describes where Sridhar Swami is explaining about this aspect of this Utaya means Utischa Vasanam Utischa Vasanam Proktam Tat Tat Karma Anusarina. How Utaya is defined is Utischa Vasanam, the Vasana, everybody has bringing the Vasanas from the past life, the what we have done in the past life, the fruitive activities, desire to enjoy separately from the Lord. In terms of the six anarthas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya, six Arishad Vargas. And Hiranyakasipu is representing the anger. Hiranyakasipu is representing the greed. Hiranyaksha is representing the pride. The Jay Vijaya coming down as the six demons, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu, and then Ravana, Kumbhakarna. Ravana is representing lust. Kumbhakarna is representing illusion, sleeps always. Ravana and Sisubal and Dantavaktra. Sisubal is representing enviousness, always envy, always blaspheming Lord Krishna. Dantavaktra, anger, God is very angry. So in this way, we can see the six Arishad Vargas in our hearts. What we have are represented in the symbolizes in these six demons. But who are these? The context is so the sixth canto, as I explained, 10 subject matter. Sixth canto is called Poshana, protecting, where we see that Ajamila is protected by Lord Vishnu, and then Vritrasura was protected by the Lord. So then, after hearing this, Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami about why that demons, why Lord is partial, why Lord became partial and killed the demons. It looks like he's favoring Indra, all the demigods. Why is it so? He is supposed to be equal to all living entities. Why is it? This was the question. It's supposed to be very brief answer. But then Sukadeva Goswami starts explaining this is the context about Narsingha Katha. So there then Sukadeva Goswami started relating exact same question asked by in the Rajasuya sacrifice by Narada Muni, asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj to Narada Muni. When Shishupal was killed by Lord Krishna, his Sudarshan Chakra chopped off after 100th offense, blaspheming, is being given, assurance being given to mother. Mother approached Lord Krishna, don't kill him. Said, yes, up to 100 I will allow. After 100 he will be killed. So 100th offense was done on the Rajasuya sacrifice. Then he was killed. Then he saw, Yudhishthira Maharaj saw that the effulgence, the soul, after being killed, is merged into Lord Krishna's body. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj asked this question, why is it so? He is like King Vena, Sisubal, all of them supposed to go to hell. Anybody who is blaspheming Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, they will be going to the hell. This is explained in 16th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Aham vijatam kruram, naradamam, chipam ajastram. Life after life, you will go depths of hell. One who is blaspheming the Lord. But how come this Isubal and always blaspheming? King Vena also always blaspheming. How come they didn't? King Vena went to the hell, but how come Sisubal didn't go? So this was the context. So two parallels of Parikshit Maharaj asking Sukadeva Goswami, and then he is relating the Narada's, the Yudhishthira Maharaj's question to Narada Muni, and Narada Muni started describing. It was supposed to be a brief answer, and Krishna himself is there listening. Is about his own form, about his own Lord Narasimha Avatar, this whole pastime. So whole Canto 7 is a huge detail. So now we understand the context. Now we understand a little more about this Utaya, where I described everything. Prabhupada lectures, you will see that we have to read Prabhupada books and Prabhupada hear Prabhupada lectures. Prabhupada never mentioned stories. Always philosophy and pastime. Both has to be combined. Then we understand Siddhanta. Otherwise, we will not be able to practice it. Like Hiranyakashipu was preaching also in chapter 3 of Canto 7. He is preaching to Hiranyaksha, his family members. He's talking about the soul and the life of soul. Don't lament. We are just coming together, just like in river. Sometimes the things come together. Sometimes you go for vacation, you may meet people, and then again you separate. So don't lament. He's telling the family members, his own wives, Hiranyaksha's wives, and family members. They were all very happy, and then they are not lamenting. But what did Hiranyakashipu do? Hiranyakashipu do practically nothing. Same thing. Durvas Muni, when he approached the Lord Vishnu, when Ambrish Maharaj, he offended Ambrish Maharaj, then Lord Durvas Muni went after Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Sudarshan Chakra was running, and then he couldn't get protection from anywhere. Then when he went to Lord Vishnu to Vaikunta, he is the only person in the world who went to Vaikunta, came with nothing. Durvasa Muni, great yogi, but it's not going to solve problem. Then Lord asked, I am not controlled by myself. Aham bhakta paradina. Aswatantra hi dvija. I am not independent. I am controlled by my devotees. I am there in their heart and they are in my heart. They don't know anything other than me. I also don't know anything other than devotees. So clearly describing about the pure devotees aspect. Then he asked, what did you do in your whole life? What did you do to me? So Durvasa Muni didn't do anything actually. He performed great tapasya for whose purpose? So bhakti is not to what we are going to get in, how we are going to please the Lord. Must be anukulya Krishna anusilvam, not anything else. Saranagati is explained as anukulya sankalpa pratikulya vivarjanam. Accept favorable things for the Lord and Guru and devotees and reject unfavorable things. This is the actual. So then Durvasana didn't do anything actually in reality. So that's Hiranyakashipu also teaching so many things. But in practice, what did he do? He did perform austerities. He want to be the enjoyer. He want to be the king. He want to be the Lord. But in reality, you will not see anything practically doing, satisfying the Lord or the devotees or the Guru. So that's why we have to understand practical things one must do. So chanting the holy name means we must do practical service. So that is a very important aspect. So that's why here Otaya one must understand there is a auspicious and inauspicious. So what does that mean? And the first and important lesson number 1 from this katha is Mahat Anugraham. One must receive the benedictions and mercy from the pure devotee. Lord will never give to anyone Krishna Prema or the liberation, moksha, especially entering into Vaikuntha. without going through a pure devotee of the Lord. Period. There could be other ways, means but it has to come through devotee only. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that other ways, even somebody may appears to be not initiated right now, but that doesn't mean that he didn't come through the devotee's mercy. Three ways. It could be in this life, it could be from the previous life, but it definitely has to receive through devotee only. There is no other way about it. Vishwanath our Acharyas gives the commentary. So we have to go by what Shastra, Sadhu, and Guru gives. Not speculate, think that I don't need to surrender to spiritual master. I can get directly Krishna's mercy. I can attain Vaikuntha liberation. No, it is not possible. So the auspicious and inauspicious we must understand. So where it is explained again by Sridhar Swami. Asubhacha subhacheti dvivida etu banda. Asubha mahatam kopat subha mahat anugrahat. Asubha, inauspicious activity will germinate, will create in our hearts when we blaspheme devotee, when we cause blasphemy, or when the devotees are angry with us, especially when the pure devotee, and the other way, when it is auspicious will come when we satisfy, when we please the pure devotee, spiritual master, sadhus, mahat anugraha. This is the first and foremost quality. What Prahlad Maharaj did, so what was the reason? The Jaya Vijaya to fall down from Vaikuntha? Mahat Kopat. Asubham Mahat Kopat. Inauspicious desire has started. Where is the example? Can you show me the example? Yes, there are many examples. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, Iswarapuri and Ramachandrapuri. Iswarapuri served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Madhavendra Puri. So then he received a benediction that you will attain Krishna. Iswarapuri received. This is Mahat Anugraha. But how about the other side? Ramachandra Puri is also disciple, but he rather started giving instruction to spiritual master. This is the biggest offense. One who is trying to instruct a spiritual master, thinking that is very scholarly or expert, then finished, then he can't progress. Then he is being immediately told, you get out from this place. Mahat Kopat. Then he received the inauspicious desire in his heart to such an extent that he started criticizing only. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu itself he started criticizing. So this is one example. Then another example you will see, Garuda. When Saubari Muni rejected, or rather stopped Garuda in going to some lake. That is Garuda means bird, as it mentioned Vainataya. It eats snakes, that is its food. Then he stopped because Garuda is a pure devotee, carrier of Lord Vishnu. He's not ordinary. When he made an offense to Garuda, then Saubhana Muni started desire of inauspicious desire, Asubha. Then he wanted to get, then he wanted to get married. The desire automatically germinated. So that's why we have to be very careful. So when we blaspheme devotee, especially the pure devotee of the Lord, spiritual master, sadhu, exalted devotees, who dedicate their life in spreading Krishna consciousness, we have to be very careful. For that matter, in Nectar of Devotion, we see that for any living entity, we shouldn't be giving pain. Any living entity. That is one of the 64 items of devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, chapter, I think, 8 or so. Execution of Devotion Principle, 64 items, Rupa Goswami gives. So that is it's very important to understand when inauspicious things will start coming. So, in the interest of time, let me give quick summary of the lessons of this katha. So I don't know how much we will cover. Now, this is the first point, first lesson from this Narasimha Katha is the Mahat Anugraha. Avoid Mahat Kopat. It is not good for our spiritual progress. Second aspect is the biggest lesson is the fruitive activity. How to avoid fruitive activity. There are at least directly four ways we can understand. One is directly serving to the Supreme Lord through a spiritual master and devotees, serving to the Lord. They explain 4:22-39, Canto 4, chapter 22, verse number 39. Four Kumaras are giving instructions to Prutu Maharaj. Yat Pada Pankaja Palasa Bhaktya. There in that verse, it is clearly described how by serving the Lord we can remove our fruitive activity in the heart, proclivities in the heart. The second aspect is by offering prayers to Lord Narasimha. That is the main reason why Lord Narasimha's appearance is happening. That is 518, chapter Canto 5, chapter 18, verse number 8. Beautiful prayers is there. We'll chant that soon. The third is hearing. Hearing glories of the Supreme Lord. So, how one should hear? This is explained before Parikshit Maharaj asking about Lord Krishna's past whole 10th canto. Before that, in the 9th canto, last, just about to explain, 10th canto about to begin. There itself, Sukhadev Goswami is describing, or Parikshit Maharaj himself is saying that how one should hear by simply hearing the glories with rapt attention. Esmin Sat Karna Piyushe. Sat Karna means our ears must be absorbed in rapt attention, hearing glories of the Supreme Lord. Sat Karna Piyushe. So then what will happen? Dunoti Karma Vasana. It will remove, destroy all the unwanted things. Srotranjali Upasprisya Dunoti Karma Vasana. Srotranjali means rather than it's more effective and purifying than taking bath in Ganga. Srotranjali, we should be, that's why while taking bath also, if you know the verses of Bhagavad Gita, one chapter, we should chant those verses, or Bhagavatam verses, whatever verses, or Pranam Mantra, or Prabhupada, Tulsi Maharaj, like whatever, at least in connection with the Supreme Lord or Guru, or Tadiya, means anything in touch, in relation with Krishna, then we are absorbed in that rather than some mundane activity. So that helps to purify our consciousness, our mind is in the proper consciousness. So that is an important lesson. So that's how we have to hear. Yasmin Satkarna Piyusha Yasas Tirtha Vase Sakrut, immediately. It is mentioned Sakrut means immediately. The examples, Bhagavatam begins with that. Narada Muni, simply hearing only from Bhakti Vedantis, immediately got purified. He became Narada Muni. So we see example after example. This is in Canto 9, chapter 24, verse number 62. So that is the hearing, how to remove fruitive activity in our heart. That is the third. And the fourth one is Lord Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, we see in 22, part 3, verse number, I forget. It is by praying, by offering obeisances and praying to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he can remove the obstacles, including all this fruitive activity. He can kick out all the anarthas. That is another aspect. Then the third lesson is performing austerity. This is from Hiranyakasipu. Hiranyakasipu performs severe austerities. He is standing on one leg, not even leg, he is standing on toe and performing severe austerity. But rather, devotees must perform austerity by following that example, not exactly for that purpose. Rather, austerity to wake up in the morning to chant the holy name of the Lord. Austerity to engage in service. Austerity to please the spiritual master and devotees. Austerity to hear and read. So we shouldn't be like Hiranyakasipu. Austerity to associate with the Vaishnavas. So and then austerity to tolerate the difficulties. When or two people come, there will be difference of opinion. So we must tolerate. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Are we not tolerating in the family life? We all go through. There is no, so then we must tolerate when we come to temple. How can we expect that there will not be any difference of opinion? There will everything will be happy and blissful, and nobody will say anything. So no, there will be, because everybody is trying to follow the path. So we must tolerate. How Prahlad Maharaj tolerated so many difficulty after difficulty. Hiranyakasipu put him, even the Dahobilam Narsinga, that Simhachalam I was explaining, there only Hiranyakasipu told, go and put him in the ocean, throw him in the ocean. So Hiranyakasipu did many things like that to Prahlad Maharaj, but that is one of the place where it was happening. Jia the Narsinga. So we can, but still Prahlad Maharaj tolerated. And even at the end also we see that he asked Narsingadev, please forgive my father's offenses. Then he said, what about, no, forget about your father, 21 generations will be liberated. For 7 generations after and 14 generations before. So 21 generations will be liberated because of your devotion to me. So this is that's why it is very important to worship Lord Narasimha, important to serve the devotees and tolerate the difficulties. Sanda and Amarka was teaching left and right about all the religious principles, how to be the enjoyer. But he tolerated, rather he preached. This is the biggest lesson for the preachers also. How to tolerate everything, even despite difficulties. He preached even there in that situation also. To Sanda and Amarka, all these demons, schoolmates. He preached to them also. because he doesn't see anybody. Who's enemy, who's friend? For Prahlad Maharaj, he doesn't see anybody. So that's why even Lord Jagannath, when you go to Lord Jagannath is not seeing anything, because for him everything is just devotion service. Everything he is seeing. Oh, my devotees are doing. So whether what pandas are doing, he's not caring about those. He's only seeing what good, what they are doing, how they are pleasing, how they are worshipping, how they are singing. He is only seeing that. Lord is only seeing the positive aspect, the quality, positive qualities. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj also seeing. Stavara Jangama Nadeke Deke Ista Devata Sarvatra Hoy. Everywhere he is seeing Lord only. In enemy, in friend, everywhere. That's why he is able to tolerate. So this is one important instruction which helps in our bhakti process. That is the toleration. Then the next aspect is taking responsibility. Very, very important. If you want to progress in devotion service, one must take responsibility to do service. Whether it could be guru, it could be leader, it could be authority in the temple setting. So it's very important. Then when we take responsibility, what will happen? Then automatically mercy will flow through. Not simply, Prabhu, give me blessings. That they will give blessing because they are very compassionate. That's why we chant Vancha Kalpatarubhasya. So they are very merciful, they will definitely, but more mercy will come when we actually follow the instructions. Serve, take responsibility from Guru, take responsibility from authority. So that is very important. It starts even actually as a child from a parent. These days that culture is not there. That is another important lesson also. So we is taking the responsibility, giving yourself. More we give ourselves to others, more we get the mercy. Krishna is watching what we are doing. Are we really only learning and putting in practice, or simply only doing lip service? So that he is watching, he is seeing in our heart what is there really. So that means we must take responsibility. That's what chanting holy name means. We must do service. If there is no, we are not taking responsibility, then where is the question of service? Then that means we are just out of duty. Somebody asked to chant, then we are chanting. But how long it's going to go? When we are old, who's going to be there? Nobody is going to be there. Nobody is going to watch us. So whether we'll remember, whether we'll pass the test or not, that will come. So that's why we have to not simply sentimentally, rather we have to understand why we are doing things. So that's why we must take responsibility. We must give ourselves to others and be compassionate. That is a very important lesson we are learning from Prahlad Maharaj. And then chant the holy name of the Lord. Remember, that's what we see. Prahlad Maharaj throughout life is always chanting, always remembering the Lord. And then the sixth one is offering obeisances. There also it is a very, very important lesson. He didn't offer. We also offer. Sometimes we don't offer obeisances. Sometimes new people they don't know how to offer obeisances. We should be left towards the deity. Chaitra Mahaprabhu's example also in front of Narasimha Dev, it is clearly mentioned. He is the deities are on his left side. He is offering obeisances to Jiyad Narasimha and Simhachalam. It is clearly given. So that's how we should offer obeisance, not straight. We should offer obeisance left towards the deity. Our left side should be towards the deities and offer obeisances. What will happen? It is mentioned by simply offering obeisance one time, just one time. You will not take birth again, but it must be done with feeling, with affection. It is not out of duty. Initially, it may be mechanical like that, as Professor Prabhupada mentioned to Brahman Prabhu's brother, Gargamuni Prabhu. I don't feel like it. Prabhupada said, no, do it as a duty, then later on you will learn it. You will naturally develop that quality. Initially, we may be in that situation, but it's all right. But at some point, we have to develop that affection, where it is mentioned offering obeisance, nectar devotion. It is quoted by Srila Rupa Goswami, Brihan Naradiya Puran. There is describing Eko api Krishnaya krita pranamo dosha no, Dasaswameda, sorry, not dosha. Dasaswameda avabhrutya natulya. Dasaswamedi punaryeti janma. Even if you perform Dasaswameda yajna hundreds and hundreds of times, it will not be equal. And even Dasaswameda yajna, you have to come again. That's the third line. Dasaswamedi punaryeti janma. Again you take birth. But Krishna pranami na punarbhavaya. If you simply offer obeisance to Lord Krishna, then there is no birth again. You can see a very important statement. That means we must offer with feeling, with affection. Anything which is done out of affection, Lord will definitely have an obligation to reciprocate. So that is very important. How Prahlad Maharaj offered obeisances? Nanama Vidrutanjali, with so much affection that he was not concerned about anything. He simply offered obeisance with so much feeling and affection in front of Lord Narasimha. Immediately, nowhere you will see that. This is the best and best thing you will see in Narasimha Katha, especially the topmost thing. In any other incarnation, you may not see sometimes, most of the times. Lord Narasimha put the hand, the blessing hand on Prahlad Maharaj. He didn't put on Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, neither on Lakshmi Devi. He put on Prahlad Maharaj and he started patting, massaging. So this is Lord Siya, this is the Bhakta Vatsalya. Because he is a Kinchana Bhakta. So that means he's completely fully surrendered. So that's why he's Abhaya, he's fearless. Because we are not akinchana, we are always thinking that I possess this, I possess that. We are not fully surrendering ourselves. We are too much attached to so many things. Fruitive activity, fruitive mentality is there. We are not confident on the holy name. We are not confident on Guru. We are not confident on the Lord's protection. So that's where the problem is. So that's why we have to understand these aspects, important lessons. Now we'll go back to the actual Narsingh Katha. So how the Hiranyaksh and Hiranyakashipu, why did it happen? What were some of the reasons? So first reason, similar to Ramayana, where Sita Devi one time asked Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu lying down, you are lying down on Ananta Sesh. There is no privacy here. So I want some privacy. The Lord said, here obviously I cannot arrange it, but in future you will get. So because of that, that is one of the reasons. There are many reasons. In Ramayana we see that Lord Ramachandra and Sita Devi went to Vanavas, go through forest where they have the privacy to some extent. So this is one of the similarly here also there are many reasons. One of the reason we'll see from Lakshmi Devi one time. Before that, first reason I'll give you that from Puranas we understand Narasimha Purana, Jay Vijaya were the doorkeepers. There are 10 gates, there are 10 doorkeepers, different names are given in Canto 7 or Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Last doors, gatekeepers are Jay and Vijaya in front of Lord Vishnu, very close. There, so one time Jay Vijaya are discussing, Lord does so many things, but how he will fight, how he will wrestle? He's missing this wrestling. How he will wrestle? With devotees, we can wrestle. They have to be really strong, that rasa, to develop that rasa and fight. That means, so how will you do that? Then, as they were thinking it, then Lord Vishnu, because he's seeing, he's there in the heart. Then automatically, immediately, this is one instance. The second instance is from Lakshmi Devi. Was massaging the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. That's Pada Sevana. She symbolizes out of 9 forms of devotion service. She represents. She is the topmost expert in Pada Sevana, massaging the lotus feet of the Lord. Then, while massaging the lotus feet, then Lakshmi Devi mentioned, so they started massaging. Then certainly Lord Vishnu started making sounds. Ooh. So like that. So as though like this, Lord is perfect in every rasa. He can make. So then Lakshmi Devi asked, you are making this and how you will fight? You are fighting with demons. You killed so many demons. How you will fight? Then Lord said, yes, you will see. So that this is the second instance. We will see. So immediately then they start hearing some sound. Then Lord Vishnu takes Lakshmi Devi also, goes to the entrance of the Vaikuntha Dwar. Then 4 Kumaras entering with babies. They are a small child because that is what they wanted to be. Like small child never gets contaminated with any fruitive activity. So they entered into the Vaikuntha and the Jay Vijaya stopped from entering into Vaikuntha. Immediately they got angry and cursed. But actually it is not their fault. This is the same. Mahat Kopa. The image, because of the angry, they didn't allow, they restricted, they obstructed, like Garuda, the Sobramuni obstructed Garuda, same way 4 Kumara, Jay Vijaya obstructed 4 Kumaras in entering, then 4 Kumara, it became a cause of this Mahat Kopa. They got angry, they cursed. That Lord Narayan taken responsibility, is great leader. Because they are my servants. And so that means that is my fault. So now you curse them. Then four Kumaras cursed them. Okay, either you want 3 lifetimes or 7 lifetimes. 7 lifetimes as devotees, 3 lifetimes as demons. Then they said, no, 7 lifetimes is too long. Then they took as option as 3 lifetimes. Then they became, Jaya Vijaya became Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Shishupal, Dantavamsa. These are the two reasons. And there are some other reasons. How Prahlad Maharaj, in the past life, because everything, even Dhruva Maharaj also, there is a past life which is very important. The past life things, which comes like a TV only. Everywhere our senses and sense objects, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our touch, everything as sense objects. So it brings the from the past lives, all those things are there. Rather, we don't remember. We take darshan of the Lord, we take Krishna Prasad, but rather we don't think any of that. Always it is bringing unwanted things, whatever we have done in the past life. It is like a TV screen vision, keep coming into the forefront. Real thing, the Lord's lotus feet never comes. This is what will come most of the time. Because of the fruity mentality, most of the time, 99% that's what we are doing. So that's what is coming to the forefront, like a TV advertisements. So that's why we have to be very careful. So here, so the Prahlad Maharaj in the past life, in Narasimha Purana, it explains that, and Sanatana Goswami explained in Hari Bhakti Vilas, same thing from Narasimha Purana, where Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad was asking Narasimha, how did I get this? How did I become a devotee of you? Then Lord Narasimha explained, because in the previous life you were you did unknowingly. You were a son of a Vasu Sharma. He was a Brahmana, nice Brahmana, a great devotee, and he has 5 sons. Out of 5, you are the only one. Everybody else is pious. You are the only one attracted to prostitute. Your name is Vasudeva. And then you were attracted to prostitute one day, you quarrel with prostitute, and then you fasted whole day and night. Both of them didn't eat anything till next day. So because of that unknowingly doing of the merit of following the Narasimha Chaturdasi Vrata, without, it's good if we can do. I know most of us have work, IT, most of us, and so next day if we can do, this is the best way. I think Saturday for you it's okay, for us it's Sunday. So Saturday you have till Sunday. If we can, if we are able to do, please do it. This is the way. There it is mentioned. Nothing how to celebrate nothing. There it is mentioned. One who doesn't sleep till next day morning and chants, hear, read, following devotion practice, it gives greatest benefit. So Prahlad Maharaj unknowingly did, and he get the benefit. That's how he became my devotee. This is one of the reasons. And what happened to that prostitute? Prostitute also became Apsara in the next life. She enjoyed, and then she went back to Godhead. You will also go back to Godhead after these pastimes. You will become a king, you will enjoy, and then you will go back. But you will never be attracted to any material thing. You will be going back to him. This is another reason. We discussed so far 3 or 4 reasons. Further, Narasimha Puran, chapter 41 or 42, where it explains that when Hiranyakasipu started practicing austerities, and he was already powerful, then obviously before that, this Kasyap Muni, the Diti approached because of this curse. They have to be born. Jay Vijay have to be born. So automatically, other things happen automatically. So Diti approached Kasyap Muni at inauspicious time in the evening, in daytime, in the evening, which is Shiva Muhurta. Morning is Brahma Muhurta, where we are supposed to chant from 3:30 or 3:45 to 8 o'clock, but the best time is before sunrise. The evening is called Shiva Muhurta, especially before the sunset. That evening time is not good for this union. So that's how the approach is. Then obviously he tells it's not a good time, but still she doesn't listen. Will of the providence. Then that's how Jaya Vijaya is born as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakasipu as demons because it's inauspicious time. It correlates. Then it is explained that Hiranyakasipu was so strong, performing austerities. Then Lord, they all approached Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. They all went. Lord Vishnu. Then he said, "Don't worry, you all go back. Go back to Kailash and Brahmaloka. I have taken care." Then he tells Narada Muni, Lord Vishnu instructs Narada Muni. This is in Brahman Narada Purana, Narasimha Purana also. Then Narada Muni, what is Narada Muni and Parvati Muni goes together as two birds. Well, Hiranyakasipu is chanting Om Brahmaya Namaha, Om Brahmaya Namaha, severe austerities. Then they both sit close by and they start chanting Om Vishnuvaya Namaha, Om Vishnuvaya Namaha, Om Vishnuvaya Namaha. Then he becomes so because he's so envious. Hiranya and Kasipu means Hiranya means gold. Kasipu means soft bed. See, actually, we have to understand Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Artha has utilization for the service of the Lord. When it is used like that, it is called Paramartha. We will receive the highest benediction, highest happiness. When we don't use like Hiranyakashipu, if we use it for our own benefit, what will happen? That it will become Vyartha. It will be only we will enjoy for some time, wherever in this planet or higher planet, then it will be lost. It will not be good for us. It will be just wasted. Vyardhata. Artha, it doesn't become wrong. That's why we see that. The gold actually meant to be serving Lakshmi Devi. What we see in Sri Suktam. Sri Suktam, Purusha Suktam is part of the Rig Veda. What do we learn from there? The first thing, this is what we learn. How to utilize our wealth in the service of the Lord. That's what. Hiranyavarnam Rajatam Savarna Rajatasrajam Lakshmi Jatavedo Mamava. So that Savarna Rajatasrajam. Lakshmi Devi is worshipped with gold. And that doesn't mean she is going to take it. She will be using in the service of the Lord. So that gold, here Hiranyakashipu is representing that gold, but he wants to use it his own enjoyment. So that is the lesson we have to learn. Always try to utilize things for the service of the Lord. That doesn't mean you don't buy for your family members. Prabhupada is explaining, giving Kartamuni and Devotee. You must buy. Husband should buy ornaments and jewelry things for wife. That's fine. As you think that as a servant of the Lord, as a devotee, you are offering. In that way you think, but don't think this is my wealth, mine. And then that's where the problem comes. But always trying to in that mode. That way we will not get that fruitive activity, fruitive mentality. Anyway, these two birds went started chanting Vishnavayana, Narada Muni and Parvata Muni. Then immediately, then Hiranyakashipu became so agitated because he's so envious. As soon as he heard Lord Vishnu's name, because he is the one who killed my brother Hiranyaksha, then I cannot tolerate this. Then immediately came out from his austerity and penance. Then immediately got agitated. He tried to kill, but birds he cannot kill. Then they escaped. Obviously, they are great sages. So they, because Lord Vishnu told him how to do. So he couldn't do anything. Then he came out. Then he understood. I am getting angry. What is the reason for angry? Krodhat bhavata sammoha. Jayito vishyan pumsa. We know from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Because it's causing from the desire to enjoy. Kama leading to krodha. Kama, lova, and krodha. Greed and desire to enjoy. So then he understood, oh, this is causing the anger is coming from the lust. So let me now satisfy and then come back again. Then he goes back to his wife. Then he asked, Kayadu asked, how come? I thought you were going to do 1,000 celestial years. How come you came back? And he says, no, there's these two birds started annoying me, chanting on Vishnu Narayana. Then he said, so that's why I came back. Then he still that is ringing in his mind. So he did the union with his wife. Then he had four sons. Some places it's mentioned one daughter also, Simhika. Later on Holika it became. So the Ahlada, Samhlada, Anuhlada, and Prahlad. Four. One of them is Prahlad. So, but what is happening while union, he was always thinking, he is chanting, he is remembering Vishnu Yanama, Vishnu Yanama. So that is one of the reasons. Naradi Purana, Narasimha Purana explained in chapter 40. Then obviously Prahlad Maharaj became a great devotee. Another reason, we say demigods are trying to take Kayadu. And then the Narada Muni told, don't take her. The devotee is there, not a demon. Leave him, leave her. So then Narada Muni takes her to the ashram and then starts instructing Srimad Bhagavatam and devotional practices. Kayadu didn't remember anything, but Prahlad Maharaj being in the womb, he learned. So that's why Garbhadana Samskara, while some woman is in pregnancy, one must read or hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the ultimate perfection. So then the actual baby, boy or girl will get the most bhakti unmukha sukriti, the life-changing event. That's a life-changing moment. So that it's very important. We can see in Prahlad. So because of all these reasons, Prahlad Maharaj became a great devotee. From the past life of following Narasimha, another Padma Purana explains another reason why. There it explains that Prahlad Maharaj not only did fasting until next day morning, he didn't sleep, but he also unknowingly cleaned a place. Narasimha temple was their old Narasimha temple. He cleaned that place. So because that is service, it's showing. So all these so many reasons why Lord nursing why this pastime happened, why Jay Vijay came down, why Lord has a desire, devotees have desire, Lord has desire, and then how Prahlad Maharaj's past life. So all these are interconnected. There could be many other reasons. I only know these few Puranas, but there could be a few other reasons, but we don't know. So anyway, we can understand how this pastime is happening. Jay Vijay being cursed in this Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And then from Prahlad Maharaj, we can see the qualities itself. Prahlad Maharaj, about Prahlad Maharaj, where he is asking, Hiranyakashipu is ready to kill him. He asked for this boon. Next time when he went back to perform severe austerity for thousands of years after this union, then he got to Brahma, and then Brahma gave the boons. I cannot be killed. There are so many things he has told. Then Lord Krishna, Prahlad Maharaj is worshipping Lord Krishna only. But he has no choice, but Lord has to appear in this form because that is a specific boon he has. So that's why half man, half lion, how he killed. So then Lord Narasimha appeared to show, to prove that my devotees. He is asking Hiranyakashipu, is your Lord is there in this stamba? Yes, he said. He is asking, the Hiranyakashipu is asking Prahlad Maharaj, showing the pillar. Then immediately Lord appeared. Satyam vidatum nijavritya vasinam vyaptincha bhuteshu akileshu cha atma ati adbhuta drasya rupam stambhe savayam na murgam na manusam. So it is beautifully explained. Satyam vidatum, just to prove my spiritual mark, prove Narada Muni's statement, prove Prahlad Maharaj's statement that Lord is there. Kambena, Hiranyakashipu is asking. Kambena stamba drishyate. Devan drishyate, then he said, aha, yes, he is there. Drishyate, I can see. He is seeing Lord everywhere. That's how he became fearless. And then you are not, then immediately used his mace to break that pillar. They immediately Lord Narasimha appeared in this. Satyam Vidatum Nidhibhritya Vasanam. So he's the because servant of the actual pure devotee. Aham Bhakta Paradina. Mad Puja Abhyadika. So instance after instance, examples after example, we'll see in Srimad Bhagavatam itself how Lord becomes subservient. There is an important point is been mentioned in quoting in 11th canto, chapter 2, where it is explained by worshipping demigod what we will get, and by worshipping the pure devotees, spiritual master, what you will get. The very nice verse has been mentioned that uh, where chayena karmas suchuva, by worshipping demigod, it is like a shadow. You will get the benefits of only in this material enjoyment, material benefits. But if you worship the spiritual master, you serve the spiritual master, representative of the Supreme Lord, bona fide representative, then rather you will get attain Krishna very quickly. That is, and Lord Himself is also telling, Aham Bhakta Pradina. What is that? Mam Vijaniyam, na avamanyeta graham. Aham Mam Vijaniyam. Verse in 11th canto. Lord Krishna himself is telling, I am the Guru is not different from me. Is my representative. He is Lord himself. It's Sakshat Haritvan Samastha. So many places we will see that. But we will end with this verse. The qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. Already time is up. I didn't cover much at all. So we'll just go through this one verse. Beautiful description is there in Canto 7, chapter 4, verse number 31 to 32, where it is explained the qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. Brahmanyo Sila Sampanna, Satya Sandho Jitendriya, or Satyasara Prabhu, like that, Satya Sandha, always finding the absolute truth. So Prahlad Maharaj is always looking for absolute truth. Satya Sandho Jitendriya, fully controlled. And Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu, everywhere he is seeing super soul only. Eka Priya Suhruttama is always dear to all living entities. And then Dasavat Sannata Arya, Aryangri, the superior is always acting like a meek and humble. Then Pitravat Dinavatsala is for also for those who are Dinavatsala poor, is acting like a father, guardian, superior, as guardian especially. And Bhratravat Sadrase Snigdho, like friend, like brothers, is acting also in that way. And then Guru to Ishwar Bhava, Guru is thinking his Lord himself. And then Vidyartha Rupa Janmadayo Tada Manastamba Vivarjita. He doesn't have his thing, he's not thinking I'm scholar, I'm beautiful. None of these he's thinking. He's not thinking of any of those material qualities. He's simply thinking I'm servant of the Supreme Lord. So I'll stop here. because of the interest of time. So thank you very much for the opportunity. गंधराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय, युवराज नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, भक्त महाराज की जय, गौर भक्त की जय.
Thank you, Krishna Namananda Prabhu. That was a fantastic class. Would you like to take some questions, Prabhu?
Yes, go ahead.
Devotees, do you all have any questions? Or anyone online can raise their hands? Okay, if there are no questions, we have a short thank you note from Satyarupa Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Prabhu. That's a wonderful lecture on Narasimha Chaturdasi. It is very joyful and learning to hear from you in the Narasimha Chaturdasi evening. So, Prabhu, you mentioned nicely how Lord Krishna mentioned Prahlad Maharaj's name in the Bhagavad Gita. He is among the Daityas. He is Prahlada. So, Krishna, always we need to always remember Krishna. So by observing his vibhutis, and when we like taste of water, and when we see the line, all powers, then we'll understand and remember Krishna always. And you also mentioned Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed Lord Narasimha in Puri Jagannath temple, how he prayed his obeisances again and again. And you also mentioned that Mantra Raja Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu. And so Puri Jagannath deities you mentioned, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's how he glorified. And you also mentioned that when we do our services with affection, then Krishna is obligated to reciprocate to the devotees. And when we do matter of duty, Krishna is not obligated to accept and reciprocates. Here you emphasize the importance how we need to take up and do our services. And Rama and Ramanavami and Vamana Dwadasi and Narasimha Chaturdasi, these are the important festivals why we need to observe. And these are like Paravasta Avatar. It is almost near to the Krishna's avatars. And this Narasimha pastime is mentioned in the Utaya part, like proclivity of the activities or the material activities, and how we need to curb these things. So that is the reason it is mentioned here. And you also mentioned a 16th chapter, like Bhagavad Gita, blaspheming Lord Vishnu or Krishna, one goes to the darkest regions of the hell, life after life. And you also mentioned the importance of the philosophy and pastime. So that combined together, then only we will progress. Or not merely knowing the stories will not help in our spiritual progress. And you also mentioned bhakti is to please the Lord, not to attain something. So also like one cannot try to correct guru, so how he can fall down. So that you nicely explained. And when we blaspheming the devotees, that's the end of our spiritual life. So and you have mentioned a few lessons, takeaways from this pastime, how the Mahat Anugraha comes from Lord, and how to remove proclivities from the heart, and how our the consciousness get purified when we hear the glories of Supreme Lord with the rapt attention. You always mention that rapt attention. It is not that, okay, I'm hearing, not like that. And we also mentioned that performing severe austerity in favorable way to please the Lord. If not, it is no use how it is happened in the case of Hiranyakashipu. And tolerating, when we are performing bhakti or services, we need to tolerate the obstacles come in our way. If we are not able to tolerate that, we will go away from the bhakti or the services. and taking responsibilities and perform services, which is very, very important. Then only we'll get mercy. And remembering and chanting the name of the Lord, how Prahlad Maharaj always does that. And offering obeisances with affection, how can one can it is receive the mercy. It is uncomparable with even hundreds of sacrifices, Aswamedha sacrifices also. And you also mentioned Prahlada, how he come in this pastime. In his previous life, son of Vashu Sharma has performed Narasimha Chaturdasi, also cleaned the Narasimha temple. Even unknowingly, he performed Narasimha Chaturdasi and he cleaned. He got an opportunity to participate in this pastime. And you also mentioned that how we need to utilize our wealth in the service of the Lord, not like Hiranyakashipu. And also you enacted the pastime completely, and how it is happened, how this whole pastime, or what are the reasons being happened this pastime. And thank you for enlightening us, Krishna Ananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you all for your kind association. So without Vaishnava's mercy, we cannot progress in devotional service. By your blessings only I am able to share something. I am also learning. So we'll end with that verse we didn't chant. A very nice verse. Then we'll end with that. At least I'll be able to disconnect. So the culture of respect we are discussing is Mahaprabhu explains that meek and humble we are learning. In today's world, everything is missing. Even as a parent, child, mother and father, between the child is missing. Culture of respect. Where Prahlad Maharaj is showing when he approached Narsinghdev, when he's thinking, he's not thinking great as a demigod. He's thinking rather, I am in Daitya Kula, I am lowest, I am nothing, insignificant in front of all of them. What qualification do I have? There is showing Nanama Vidrutanjali. There it is mentioned Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Vidya Vadu Jivanam. Vidya Vadu Jivanam means like how when one girl gets married, how she will walk, how she will be very meek and humble. Sir, she doesn't say anything. This is in at least previous days and today's world, whether it's happening or not, I don't know. But at least in previous, this is the culture of respect. This is the culture of how to engage in devotional practice, how to be etiquette, proper etiquette. This is what we are learning from Prahlad Maharaj, how to be respectful for seniors, especially senior devotees or parents. Then only actual blessings comes from parents also, if we properly follow the etiquette. So the one point, and then 5:18:8. This is the verse everybody should chant. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Namaste Tejase.
Namaste Tejase.
Avir Bhava. Vajranaka Vajradamstra. Karmasayan. Randaya. Tamo Grasa. Om Swaha. Abhayam Atmani. Uista. Om Shram. This is in Canto 5, Chapter 18, verse number 8, where in Hari Varsha, Lord Narsingdev resides in Janaloka, which is the higher planets, and Hari Varsha, which is within, around, or surrounding to the Bharata Varsha, Hari Varsha, there Prahlad Maharaj is the resident or the king in that Hari Varsha. He is worshipping Lord Narsingdev, and all the residents are worshipping Lord Narsingdev with this prayer, where it's clearly mentioned in the purport in the translation how the fruitive mentality, everything will be removed, all the obstacles will be removed from our heart. Exact the verse translation, if you read Prabhupada's translation, 5:18, 8, very, very important verse to meditate and recite on a daily basis, which will help us to move closer to Guru and Supreme Lord. Thank you all very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhayeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo
नमो
नमो
नमः
नमः.